Welcome back to Resistance Chicks.
I'm here.
We're your hosts together, tag teaming
Everywhere.
it. Leah and
everybody
Michelle.
here? Periscope, everybody?
Well, we can't do Facebook.
We ain't got no
Epstein.
Facebook.
Here we go.
All
Here
right,
we go now.
The labor secretary under Trump, Alex Acosta, has resigned. He was part of the plea deal that gave Jeffrey Epstein 18 months, but he was able to leave all day, do whatever he wanted, and just had to sleep at a county jail at night.
Right. Wow.
Acosta has even said that he was told from higher ups to to drop the case, basically. This was a horrible thing. There were people very angry at the outcome of this. There were many victims, and this was in the Florida district, Palm Beach area, and so it was the New York area that's bringing it up. Now it was Epstein lawyers were arguing that this was old news, but new victims have come forward because the prosecutors laid out what they found in his home were pictures. And a defense lawyer, somebody said this is a defense lawyer's nightmare, where you literally have a disc that says nude pics girls on a CD. Okay, with girls that they're girls.
Right.
There are interviews with young girls talking about how women would come to their school, identify young girls who were vulnerable, parents who had died, people who needed money, and they would bring them back to Epstein's house and say that Epstein wanted to. I could show you the video.
Who are these women doing such a thing?
Who are the women?
Oh my gosh.
I guess I should give you one idea of of what one girl had said, and many of them would go back and get. This was 7 months ago. This is one girl. Remember, this is some graphic content.
Whoa.
I think this is.
I was young, I was scared, I knew these people were powerful, I didn't know what would happen if I said no, I didn't know what would happen if I reported them. That 16-year-old girl just let it happen. And that was how I got into the abuse with Jeffrey and Ghislaine.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob, how to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself. And being a woman, it kind of surprises you that a woman could actually let stuff like that happen. But
Unbelievable.
Why would a girl do this? She had her over, and this is the same story. Have them over for just some cheese and crackers and some wine. Send them home with $300. Then they say, Jeffrey Epstein knows you're in some trouble, knows you need some money. So Epstein would come and he'd have a girl and he'd give him a tour. Then they would start out as a regular massage, $300. And then Epstein would say, would you do this?
Oh my
More money.
Right.
Would you do this?
Oh
More money.
gosh.
Before you know it, the girls are being raped. And they're all under 18. Some of them are 14 years old. He tells them, I like younger girls, older women, they're fake and blah, blah, blah. And
It's disgusting.
the idea is that he hasn't been locked up. And there are lots and lots of these girls. And what I have here is this article that says Jeffrey Epstein's defense team is arguing their client should be released on house arrest. They're saying the prosecutor's saying no because he has airplanes, he has all this stuff, and the defense is like, no, we'll watch him, we'll put an anklet bracelet on him, we'll watch him.
No.
But according to the Miami Herald, which revived prosecutors, this is Miami Herald did this. Even Alan Dershowitz, whose name has been brought through the mud because he's actually a defense lawyer for Epstein, he wanted the case to come forward. And the Miami Herald has Mike Cernovich and Horowitz, So at least 4 more women have contacted David Boies, a New York power lawyer who represents some of Epstein's victims. And at least 10 others have approached other lawyers who have previously represented Epstein's victims. These girls would go back to their school and they get more girls. So there's lots and lots and lots of girls. Now, how did they keep them quiet? I don't know. But I do know that in Florida, victims came forward, and it was the upper echelons of the government, which is why this guy Acosta in our labor that Trump had on his cabinet, or not his cabinet, but in his administration, he resigned because he was part of this sweetheart deal that Epstein got.
Yeah.
Let's see. Following Epstein's arrest on Saturday in New Jersey, 4 women have reached out. About 14. The people we are speaking to were all underage victims in Florida and New York. They are not individuals whose claims have previously been part of any law enforcement investigation. So they're saying it's an effective message. More and more people are, more and more young girls are coming forward. So I'm going to finish this girl's interview. Obviously, if you have any children in the room, it's probably not.
Let it happen, but to groom you into doing it. And then there's Jeffrey, who's telling you, I want it this way. No, go slower, and don't do that, and do this.
That's very creepy.
Now this is part of a deposition, sworn deposition that this thing happened to her.
You're just thrown into a world that you don't understand, and you don't know how to, you're screaming on the inside, and you don't know how to let it come out. And you just become this numb figure who refuses to feel and refuses to speak and refuses, all you do is obey. That's it. And eventually it led to, well, now we're going to experiment and we're going to try you with another guy and see how you go. So they sent me to an island with a professor, and I basically had to do what I did for Jeffrey for him. So it's very private. It's the perfect world for a billionaire getting away with what he was doing. He could hold big parties there and have huge orgies there, and nobody would have any idea what was going on because it was so quiet and so protected. And it started with one, and then it trickled into two, and then so on and so forth. And, you know, before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and to academics and to people that royalty.
Roberts claimed in an affidavit
Prince
the two
Andrew?
of the men that Epstein lent her out to
Wow.
were attorney Alan Dershowitz and Prince Andrew, the Duke of York.
No way.
Dershowitz and Prince Andrew have both denied any involvement with Roberts. A judge later struck Roberts' affidavit from the court record, but the ruling did not address the veracity of her allegations. Dershowitz said he was nonetheless vindicated. Logs from Epstein's private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express, show a host of high-powered politicians, academics, and celebrities.
It's called Lolita Express for a reason. That was a vessel for him to be able to abuse girls and get away with it without anybody being alarmed or any alarm bells going off. It was all the same no matter where you went. All Jeffrey cared about was, go find me more girls. To me,
Remember, there are names of like Candy and da-da-da-da-da-da on these flight logs. Okay? Why are they going?
till
Right.
to this day, it is my biggest shame that I carry around that I will never get rid of. And I'm really, really sad that I brought other girls my age and even younger into a world that they should have never been introduced to.
At age 19, Roberts said that she was sent to Thailand to take a massage course and to pick up a girl for Epstein. Instead, she fell in love and moved to Australia, where she and her husband live with their 3 children.
Good for
I
her.
escaped. I called Jeffrey to let him know that I was not coming back and I was not bringing the little Thai girl back. And he said, you know what? Have a nice life, and hung up the phone. And that was it. And I thought, I'm off the hook. I'm off the chain. I can go. I can live free. 2007, I was pregnant with my middle son. And I get a phone call from Ghislaine one day in Australia. I'm in Australia. I was like, how the hell did she just find me? Like, I've been out of their life for so long. What's going on? She's like, have you talked to anybody? Have you told anybody what's happened? Like, you know, have you reported us or anything? And I said, no, I haven't spoken to anybody. Okay, good. You stay like that. You stay quiet. The next day, Jeffrey calls me with his lawyer on the phone. And he asks me the same questions. Have you talked to anybody? Are you going to report me? Are you going to talk to anybody? I'm like, where is this all coming from? Like, what is going on? The next day, I get another phone call. And this time, it's from an FBI agent. Like, hi, I'm blah, blah, blah from the FBI. Have you given Jeffrey Epstein a blowjob? Did you have a shower with Jeffrey Epstein? did you ever bring any girls over for Jeffrey Epstein? I'm like, I don't even know who you are. I mean, unless you can come over here and show me some official documentation that says that you're with the FBI, I am not saying a word to you. And about 6 months later, I get a knock at the door, and it's the Australian Federal Police. It was a 12-page document about Jeffrey Epstein and what he had done and how, you know, I was a victim and they've identified me as one.
Wow. They found her.
It takes a long time to
something,
start the healing process. I mean, I will never heal. There are pieces from me that can never be put back together.
Wow.
It takes so long to get to a point where you're able just to speak about it. I mean, it took me having a daughter and looking at this beautiful, young, innocent baby to say, I want to speak out about it now. You know, if we can make that point across, that doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, there are girls out there that will speak up. And I don't care if it's 10 years later or 15 years later, whenever you're ready to do it, you do it. You know, and you protect the ones that are younger than us. You protect the ones that we didn't protect before.
Wow.
These guys will get it in the end, because us girls are not going to sit here and just let this keep happening.
So Roberts and about 2 other girls sued Epstein for damages. The cases were all settled and the amounts were kept confidential. Roberts also sued Maxwell, and that case was also settled for money. Maxwell denied any wrongdoing. So obviously things are going to go, poop is hitting the fan. And I wanted to play that so that you get an idea of this is for real. And there are lots of other stories, and they're all very similar, and there's lots and lots of girls, and they're all coming forward. Other people said, you know, the rich and powerful, they are so perverted. They've got the money, they've got the planes, they've got the, and then they're like, and then they just, you go to the next level of perversion, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And it's power, and it corrupts your mind, and it's satanic. And I know that Patriot Gallery is going to be like, you can't leave us like this, Leah, with that. So let me give you some good news before we go on to something a little else.
So hang on. The punchline is that he's been arrested.
He is arrested.
That's
now,
the whole story.
Here's the good news on this. And I was going to round it off, but yeah. The good news is that these prosecutors, you see their fierceness in their eyes.
Yeah.
They want to eat this guy for lunch.
And you know what? I think the reason why they are so hungry is because they have all of the information. They are like a dog on a bone. I mean, they've got it all.
Right. And this is very similar. And what I would love to tell people in like the UK who call people racist, hey, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein is white. Most of his, like Prince Andrew or whatever, he's a white guy.
Yeah.
All these people who are named as perpetrators, most of them are white, and we hate them and we want them to go down. Yeah. Okay? If there is a common denominator there, we need to call out the common denominator, right, which is rich and powerful, right?
Sure.
The common denominator in the UK with the same 14, 16-year-old
are the Pakistani
age
rape
group
gangs.
Are the Pakistani rape gangs. These
Exactly.
are all men, and there's a perversion in men who want to do to control and manipulate and to abuse girls.
Yeah.
And so you have to like throw out everything and say, okay, in the UK, this big thing is happening. Thousands of victims, by the way, and they are Pakistani, and their mindset is because of Islam, they can do this, and they can do this to the white girls.
Yeah.
If Jeffrey Epstein's victims were black, you wouldn't stop hearing about it, I think, because that would be a white on black thing, and it just would be a bigger deal. But here's the thing: it's like we're calling out abuse, and this is what people. Oh, Trump's a racist, or conservatives are racist. If conservatives are racist, why would we spend so much time trying to expose this dirty white guy?
Yeah.
And his dirty white guy friends.
Right.
We hate perversion and abuse, and we'll call it out, and we have to be like profilers and say, okay, in this particular case, these particular people are going after these particular people. Right. It's just common sense. It's logic.
Tommy Robinson is in jail because the upper class perverts are frightened that they might be exposed. Yeah. Where are the parents involved in this? How do youngsters fly off to an island with billionaires without the parents questioning it? That's a good question.
let's see. There is no, I think they got rid of the statute of limitations. I think that's another reason why Epstein is able to, be prosecuted.
All right. We'll see you guys back here on Sunday.
All right. We love you guys.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Look how much shorter than me you look standing here. I have just regular shoes on. You're like a tiny person.
Hey, no, Greg, we'll hold me down.
Now we're like the same tiny person. Okay. All right. Good night, guys. I was cold all alone. No place